Welcome to the call, and I have with me today Kanna Reilly, owner of Body Solutions Laser and Skincare in Scottsdale, Arizona. How are you, Kanna?
Good, Greg. How are you tonight?
Excellent, thank you. Kanna, you've got quite a story to tell, haven't you?
I do.
So take us through it. You started your business 6, maybe 7 years ago. How was that?
Mm-hmm. You know, we started the business probably, I'm going to estimate around 2005 time frame, but we kind of floundered around for a couple of years before we became members of Worldwide Salon Marketing in 2007. So we've actually been with you guys since 2007 and have been in business for 2 years prior to that. So
things have changed a lot, so bring us up to date. Where are you now? Where's the business now?
You know, today, in a suffering U.S. economy, I'm pleased to report that we have 2 locations now, and, you know, we're doing great. I just ran some numbers earlier. We're up about 30% over last year, and are just continuing to keep growing. We opened a second location because we basically filled up the first location and literally did not have any place to put people. So 2 miles away, we just opened another spa.
How did all this come about?
Do you want the short answer or the long answer?
Well, we can expand on it later, but the short answer.
The short answer is, you know, I think in our industry, people are interested in beauty and making things look good, and you know, we try doing ads that style, that way, the branding methodology that everything has to look good and perfect and beautiful, but doesn't really say much, doesn't really call any action or get anyone's attention. And having changed it from that model to the emotional direct response model has made all the difference in the world. And I am convinced that had we not made that mindset change, we would not be in the fortunate position that we're in today.
Okay, let's go back 6 or 7 years to when you started. How did the business look then? How was it set up? You're a laser clinic, a skincare clinic. How many of you were there in it?
When we very first started, it was just my husband Tim and myself and my sister, who was the only employee that we paid because Tim and I didn't get paychecks at that time. And yeah, that's how we started. And small little office. You know, I had a job at the time, a decent paying job, and so my professional career and job basically continued to fund the med spa that was failing and losing money day after day, month after month, year after year. So, and then we, like I said, just were Google searching one day and found some funny sounding Australian man on the internet and decided that he looked like he knew what he was doing, so let's give that a whirl and let's see how that goes. And you know, we did everything in the toolkit, everything that, you know, at the time our coach preached us to do. You had helped us, you know, write a few pieces to get the idea of how to craft the perfect ad, and never looked back after that.
So now you have how many people working for you?
We have 28 now, 28 employees. Most of them full-time, some of them part-time, 2 salons, 2 managers, 2 assistant managers. So we're doing well. And, you know, I'm happy in this economy to be able to, you know, provide jobs to those people in this really, really tough U.S. economy that we have right now.
Well, let's talk about the US economy and what's happening in the wider salon and spa market. What is happening to most spas and salons in America?
You know, I don't know what the latest statistics are, but you know, I can see it. As a matter of fact, both of the new locations that I happened to occupy were both spas before I was there. So, you know, we do see a lot going downhill. A lot of in the U.S., most of the spas and salons are not chains. Most of them are businesses owned by families or entrepreneurs, like singly owned. And, yeah, they're falling by the wayside for sure. And interestingly enough, when I started my business in 2005, you know, the U.S. was still in a great booming economy. I mean, real estate was going up and up, hand over fist. You know, it was a booming economy, and then it really kind of turned right when we started going with you guys. So the end of 2007, beginning of 2008. So really, the growth that we've seen has been in the worst U.S. economy since the Great Depression. So, yeah, it's not a fluke. It's not an accident. Everything we do is planned, and you really do need to plan. You have to have a plan. And I think those salons that are failing have no direction, no plan, and they just refuse to do anything differently than what they've always done.
Yeah, it's the 6 words that kill any business, isn't it? We've always done it this way.
Right.
So, talk to me about exactly what you do on a day-to-day, on a week-to-week basis to market your business.
You know, Tim and I no longer work in the spa, either of them. It's rare that we even go in there anymore. We do conduct meetings and so forth in there, but our main jobs are marketing and overseeing the spa. And you know, I think it's more like running a marathon than doing a sprint. We have a calendar that is in our office that we look at, making sure that we're going to do marketing campaigns, making sure we follow through with that. There's so many avenues that, you know, we really do try to tackle all the different media that we can possibly do out there. And I think that with Worldwide Salon Marketing, that has also brought light to our eyes because, you know, we do print, we do email marketing, we do texting, we do Facebook, we do flyers door to door, we do business to business promotions, we do internal promotions, parties, we do just pretty much a lot of things. I think, you know, so many times people say, you know, how did you get to be this giant spa that, you know, used to see maybe 30 people in a week to 28,000 people is who walked in and out of our doors last year. And 28,000 visits for a 1,900 square foot spa, I think, is, you know, pretty big undertaking. But it's not the one thing that gets them in there. It's just doing a lot of different things. And I think that's the key. And I think a lot of times people just want the one pill or the one silver bullet, and it just doesn't exist. So you do have to do a lot.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, we often get questions such as, well, you know, can you give me one flyer or one letter or one ad that'll solve all my problems? And people who ask those questions really need a reality check, don't they?
They do. And if it were that easy, Greg, we'd all be millionaires. We'd all be having these fantastically, wildly successful businesses. And we all know that just doesn't happen.
Now, I know that it's not all a bed of roses. And sure, you've grown very, very well, and you're growing by 30% a year, which in the US market, where growth even among the top 200 salons and spas is maybe 10% at best, and the rest of the country is pretty much going backwards. It's not all a bed of roses. I mean, what kind of challenges do you find come up constantly that you have to overcome?
You know, tons of challenges all the time. I mean, lately I think, you know, finding the right media can be challenging. You know, doing it cost effectively can be challenging. You know, I think sometimes Staffing is always challenging, and I think the biggest thing is, nobody wants the same old thing. And I think part of the success too is, and you kind of teach that, it's kind of repackaging spa services in a different way to make them more enticing to your buyer. And I mean, spas have done the same thing for years and years and years, and you just want to always find some sort of new twist to put on that to, make it new and exciting for your client. And clients want to have new things. They want to know that you're, on top of your game, and so that's always challenging. Finding the right client, because with the Groupon, I'm not knocking Groupon by any stretch of the imagination, but in my opinion, a lot of spas are going after the Groupon clientele, and I'm here to say I think the Groupon people are loyal to Groupon. And I know you have something else in Australia. I think you call it like Scoop-On or something like that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they're loyal to that company and not really to you. And I think the challenge today is finding people, and there are those people out there, whether your economy is good or bad, that have money, have disposable time, have disposable income. And your job is to figure out where to find those people. And like yesterday, we had 3 clients in our office yesterday that spent 4 figures with us in one day. And that's the kind of person, that's the kind of client you want more of. So my response when I saw their tickets was, where are their friends and why are they not coming to my spa? So, you just have to think of it in terms of, do you want to be the spa that looks for the coupon cutter? Or do you want to be the spa that has more of the people that have a lot of disposable income, a lot of disposable time? And I think you want the latter.
How do you find those people?
I do a lot of business-to-business support with other shop owners in my local area. And I am kind of fortunate that in my local area we do have a mix of clientele. We have a lot of people that come to Scottsdale in the wintertime that are well-to-do in other places of the U.S. We have a lot of hockey player wives that come in, baseball, basketball players, etc. So with the other shop owners, some of them own, like where I bought my Land Rover, I work with him and we trade some things, and I give him spa certificates to give to his really great clients. I work with 3 different boutiques in my area that have very high-end women's clothing, and we do the same thing, kind of share gift certificates to give to good clients, to bring in new clients, to share those clients. And a jeweler, a very successful female jeweler that does very exclusive pieces for Hollywood celebrities. So I try to seek out those businesses and do trading with them in terms of gift cards and services, and also sharing of clients, because those clients that like higher end things will want to learn about other businesses that have the same types of higher end services to offer.
Yeah, it's great.
And it works
strategy.
out pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk about that. How do you approach? What's your method of approaching those kind of businesses? What do you actually do?
Well, the one lady I approached I just walked in and gave her a $250 gift card to come in and get some spa services. And she came in, she loved it, and so we started trading and became friendly. And then, we just started doing different email blasts together and marketing campaigns together. So, yeah. Oops.
Okay, I've still got you. I can hear you. Kanna,
Okay.
so you've really hit the nail on the head there. You're approaching businesses who have customers that you want.
Mm-hmm.
What other strategies really work well for you?
Um, that one, like I said, I wish I could just say there's one great thing, but honestly, there really isn't. I mean, I am I am religious about planning that calendar to get my marketing out. I mean, I really, really am. I wish I had my calendar close by I could show you, but um, I do weekly advertising in our local Scottsdale newspaper. Why? Because I want to capture, my immediate direct area. I do happen to live in a very nice, affluent area, which, I will say is very helpful. Um, but, if there are listeners out there who have never read the Russell Conwell book, Acres of Diamonds, they've got to read that book. It's an old book, but basically, I'm sure you've read it, Greg. It just talks about how you market to your existing clientele and your existing database. And so many times I think business owners spend an awful amount of time trying to get the new client rather than trying to market the clients that already have been there, know, love, and trust you. And so we do have emails that run twice a week. So we're usually sending to our database like 8 email blasts a month. Like I said, the newspaper runs once a week. We do texting once or twice a week to our clients. Raise the Dead letters we'll send to anybody who hasn't been in the past 4 months. We'll do a postcard campaign in a certain area for a certain service. So, it is a lot of little marketing pieces all done at the same time to deliver tremendous results. And, I think if there's anyone out there who's saying, I want that spa that sees, 20,000 visits, you're going to have to put some work in there. And you're really going to have to tackle a lot of areas. And it's not just, like I said in the beginning, it's not just the one silver bullet. It's really all of those things together. And just really planning it all out, and you want to also keep it fun in the spa, for people to come in and always have something new and exciting going on. I think Chris had just done the Salon Spa Salon Lotto.
That's right.
It's working great for us. I mean, people love that, so we're doing that in both of the spas, and, it's fun for the client, and it's definitely been increasing our retail sales. So, you have to make it fun for the client. You have to make people feel like they belong there, like that's their place, like they want to come. Our staff pretty much recognizes, I would say 85 to 90% of our clients by name the minute they walk in the door. They're greeted within, 10 seconds or less from opening the door. You just want it to feel warm, inviting, like their place, their spa.
Talk about staff. Every business owner has difficulties with staff.
Right.
Do you have the same kind of issues?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I am no different than anybody else. I mean, we have staffing issues. We have people that don't want to work weekends after you hire them. And my response always is, we're in a spa resort type of business. We work weekends. Training is always an issue because we have people that we spend a lot of time trying to get them to do the things the way that we do them, protocols, etc., skin analysis, all those things. So, yeah, I would say that on my top 3 things of what makes my job hard, it's staff, and I would say the more you have, the more headaches you have. There's just lots of personalities that you're constantly juggling, and my only saving grace is the fact that I have a manager in each of the spas that can handle a lot of those issues for me. So if an employee really comes to me with an issue, it's pretty, it's rare, but it does happen. But I do all the hiring, interviewing myself personally, and that does, when you're when you're juggling that many employees, that it is a lot of work and effort. So I do look for a certain special kind of person with passion, perseverance for their craft, and I hire them based on that passion, that personality, much over anything else, much over experience or any other attribute. They really, if they have the passion and they love what they do, then we'll get along fine. And I'm not sure that you can teach passion, so you kind of have to make sure that that's there first.
Exactly right. So let's just talk about your normal day. How do you and Tim work it? You've got 2 young children. You've got 2 businesses. You've got a couple of dozen or more staff.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing, most salon owners, their eyes would glaze over at just the size of that. And you've done it all in 5 years.
Right.
So what do you do on a day-to-day basis? How do you manage all of this?
You know, like I said, a lot of it is planning. And so, you know, we planned a lot of stuff last year, and I'm not going to throw it away. That's silly. We keep our calendars from prior years, believe it or not, our physical handwritten calendars. And so everything we do by email is dated and logged in, and it's saved on our computer. So it was really easy when it came to Mother's Day. I mean, it is really nice. I like the different templates that Worldwide Salon Marketing does. So I just grab, you know, the template from there, grab the text from last year, mesh it all together, and out it goes. So, you know, the planning has already been done in years prior to this. So that part actually remains pretty easy. You know, I feel like I have more time now at home with my kids than ever before. You know, when I was working for somebody, you know, I had to be there at a certain time. I had to leave at a certain time. And, you know, this way when you're working for yourself, you just have you to speak to, you know what I mean? So the nice thing is we don't really have to commute anywhere. We work out of the home office. And like I say, we'll go into the spa occasionally if we have to do hiring or talk to an employee about an issue. We do meet regularly, I would say maybe, you know, once a week with the managers just to make sure that they are on the same page that we're on and they know what's going on in the office. But I think communication with my staff is the key for that, and we can definitely work remotely in some format as long. So yeah, actually I feel like I have more free time, oddly enough, than ever before. Crazy as that sound.
How do you handle issues where you want to do a particular type of marketing campaign and your staff say, I don't like it?
Oh, that conversation doesn't happen, Greg. You know, what I say is if they want to do it a different way, then they should probably open a spa themselves. So I don't really, I feel like my employees are great at what they do. They're technicians, they're craftspeople. They are great at whether it's facials or massage, waxing, airbrush tanning, or laser hair removal. They're awesome at that. That's why I hire them. And they are not responsible for marketing in any way, shape, or form other than conveying, you know, the different types of promotions and packages that we have going on in our spa to our clients. But yeah, they don't have any say in what ads are put out. The only people that have say are Tim and I, because it's our spa, our money, our time.
If there was, I mean, do you get other salons and clinics and spas looking at you and how you've been successful and trying to find out how you're doing it?
Oh yeah, all the time. And you know what? I don't mind sharing stuff with them. but they really need to get the concept of why you're doing it the way that you're doing it. And I think you only get that from becoming a member and looking at the toolkit and thinking a similar way that what's think. You know, and it's very different mindset, which I know you know. But, you know, sometimes it's funny. We get, you know, clients that will just say, oh, you guys are always so busy. There's always a ton of people walking in and out of here. And, you know, they just think it's location. And it's funny that they think it's location because, you know, I know that I've taken over a spa where somebody went out of business. So I know it's not location. It's something more than that. And sometimes it's sad because I can drive by different spas and go in there for 2 seconds and I can know based on the way the lobby looks, the way the front receptionist treats me, the way that the owner looks at me, I can tell right away if it's a successful spa or not. Yeah.
So you talk about mindset, and that's a difficult thing for people to get their minds around. What kind of mindset do you need to have to be as successful as you've been?
You know, I think you can't be the victim. You know, even we've all gone through hard things, and I know, you know, when I first started with Worldwide Salon Marketing, we were pretty much at the end of our rope, at the end of our financial budget, and it was hard. I mean, I think I had to put, I know I put my membership on a credit card, you know, hoping that we were going to make enough to pay the credit card off the next month. I mean, it was that bad for us. You know, you have to have the I can do it kind of attitude. And I just look at it, and I think it was always very insightful to me, and I see that you had other members that were doing it, because that proved to me, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. I think people have to have that attitude. Like, if I see somebody can do it and they can be very successful at what they're doing, I know I can do it. I just need to figure out how they did it, and that's really what it took when I joined Worldwide Salon Marketing. So when I saw all these people in Australia doing all these great things and being really successful, I knew that I could do it. So I think you just have to change your mindset from being the victim, the I can't, to I can, and get busy and do it, and don't think about it, and read through your toolkit, go on that member site and read through all the other post literature, ad pieces that other successful spas and salons have done, because it's posted out there for your benefit, and do it. And don't be lazy about it, because success is not for the lazy people, let me tell you that.
You touched on something earlier when you said that it's a marathon, not a sprint. I think a lot of people, and I'm sure you would agree, a lot of people have a go at something and then get distracted and then come back to it a month later or 3 weeks later and have another go at something else. That's not how you work, is it?
No. You know, and I think in the very beginning, the fact that, I know I've told you this before, I couldn't wait for the toolkit to come from Australia when I ordered it. And let me tell you, when you're waiting on something for Australia and you live in the U.S., it feels like an eternity. When it finally got here in the mail, I mean, I read through the entire toolkit and then Jill's sales kit in, I was up till like 4 o'clock in the morning. I made sure to read a little details, really understand that you guys do that is different from everybody else. And it was really out of necessity, because Tim and I literally could not afford to keep that salon afloat any more than we had already done. And so we just started doing everything because we just needed to get more clients and get our butts in gear and get that spa up and running. And then after, it got up and running and it got filled, and, we had so many clients and employees that, were so dedicated and passionate, we just wanted to continue to do more of it. And even to this day, I mean, obviously, since now we're into 2 spas that, are 2 miles away from each other, for goodness sakes, we just, that's I guess the way I'm wired. That's what we do. We just get it busy and keep going, because there's always another level to get to. Who knows what could come of it. You know what I mean?
I do. Well, you're a million and a half dollar a year business now, but back then you couldn't even afford to pay the rent. So what did you actually do? What was the first thing you did when you joined?
After reading the toolkit back and forth, I did an ad. I took a shot at an ad, and I actually think I sent it to you, and you critiqued it and sent it back, and it was a letter, and I still have the letter to this day, and we still use the letter today, and it still works great. And had it not been that, I mean, it was a fantastic letter. At the time, we only had 130 clients on 130, and the first ad brought in, I think it was like close to $9,000. Now, keep in mind, at that time for us, for one ad to bring in $9,000 worth of business, we wouldn't do that in a whole month. We wouldn't do that in a whole 2 months, for goodness sakes. So it was huge for us, and I could see the writing on the wall, and I said, I go, Tim, this is just going to work. We just need to do more of the same thing. And so then we did, and, when we first started, we basically did one service. It was laser hair removal, and then we just kept building all these different services on top of each other and sideways and the next room over until we, got to where we are today.
So that one letter, who did you send it to? Just those 130 clients?
That's all I had, so that's all I sent to. And then, of course, once those clients came in, the next thing that we did was we decided to take that money and as our seed money, basically, for doing more advertisements. And then we did like a sandwich board just right outside the spa, which, we are sandwiched between 2 restaurants. So it was perfect because they would have a wait list at night, and then people would come over and read the literature, and then we decided, oh, well, we need to give them something to take, especially when we're not there. So then we started doing these little practically handmade. We still do it today. I just make them up on the computer. I use a lot of your templates from the Worldwide Salon Marketing site, come up with my offers, print them out on colored paper, and put them out in a little, those little acrylic hanging things that you post outside your window. So people can take those little brochures. And then we used to be closed. We're open now. We are open 7 days a week, 361 days out of the year. We only closed 4 days out of the year. But at the time, we were closed. Oh, hi again. We were closed on Sundays. And we were next to a breakfast place that was hugely busy on Sundays. So we'd put all those brochures outside our window, and by Monday, the phone would be full of people that had called on Sunday looking for appointments for the following week. So, don't underestimate some things that hardly cost you any money at all, like a sandwich board or a little putting some flyers on the outside of your door for people to take. Don't underestimate that, because that could be a gold mine for you.
Yes, it could. So all in all, what you're saying, the thing that I get out of what you're saying most is focus. I mean, you do laser treatments as one of your treatments in your spa, but really the biggest laser you have is the focus on marketing the business. Mm-hmm. Well, what would you say if a spa owner or a salon owner walked into your office and said to you, "How come you're doing so well? We're failing." What do you say to those people?
Well, if you're failing, then you're obviously not doing the right thing. You've got to change what you're doing. Got
But
to
then
get
there are
off your
people
butt.
that, then so many people will say, oh, it's the government or it's the economy. You know, I can't do anything about it because it's the economy.
You know, that's what we talked about before. That's being a victim. And you know what? If you want to be a victim and you want to be just like everybody else and you want to suffer in this economy, then you go right ahead. Because you know what? That makes it so much easier for me.
Gives you a bigger market share.
It does. And I will have to say that part of our growth, I do believe, is just that, you know, at one point in my 5-mile radius, there were at least maybe 8 to a dozen different laser med spa clinics. And now there's like, I don't know, 3, my 2 and 1 other. So, yeah, I do think that we've gotten a lot of other people's market share as well.
Yep, by being persistent and being focused.
Right.
Kanna, it's been a pleasure and a delight to hear your story. I've loved your story over the years. It's terrific to see somebody become so successful just doing what it takes.
Yep, thank you.
And I'm sure other members will take a lot of heart from this. So thanks for your time and have a great year.
Thank you.